Hey guys, so today we're going to start with talking about tape diagrams. This is the first video, so you should be looking at page 1 in your packet. The second video in the unit plan will talk about double number lines. So make sure you have the notes in front of you, and let's take a look at our first question. So tape diagrams are visual models that use rectangles to represent the parts of a ratio. So we've been talking about ratios, rates, unit rates these past couple of days. So now we're taking it one step further to our models. So in this first question, it says Mike can finish 4 homework assignments in 2 hours. So that's our rate. So go ahead and underline 4 homework assignments in 2 hours. That's the given rate. And then the tape diagram below shows his rate for up to 10 assignments. So you'll see we have our list of assignments and our hours, and then they match up. So if you see at hour 2, he can do 4 assignments, which was our rate that we started with. Okay, so 4 homework assignments in 2 hours. So this tape diagram shows us that in 1 hour, right, there's our 1 hour line, we can do 2 assignments, which happens to be our unit rate. He can complete 2 assignments per hour. So instead of setting up a proportion, we can use a tape diagram to figure out our unit rate. Letter B asks us, how many assignments can he complete in 4.5 hours? So we go into our tape diagram. I see hour 4 right here, but I need 4.5 hours. So I have to go halfway through hour 5, and you can see Mike completed 9 assignments. I'm going to put 9 homeworks. Letter C asks, how many assignments can he complete in 2.5 hours? So I see hour 2, but I have to go halfway through hour 3. And that matches up with 5 homework assignments. Letter D asks, how long will it take him to complete 7 assignments? So for this one, instead of looking at our hours, we need to look at our assignments row, and we go over to 7. So look at our 7, and this matches up with 3.5 hours. And then letter E asks, how long will it take him to complete 4 assignments? So again, we're looking at the assignments row, and we look for our 4 assignments, and that matches up with 2 hours. So let's take a look at number 2. For this one, we have Ryan can walk 12 miles in 3 hours. So there's his rate. But we have to create a tape diagram this time. So they gave us that our miles should be on top and hours should be at the bottom. Time, again, should always be a denominator. So in this case, it should always be your bottom row. Okay, so miles on top, hours at the bottom. The way we create this is by first looking at your bottom row, which is hours, and how many your rate says you're starting with. So we have 3 hours, which means we need to split our tape diagram into thirds. Make sure when you split this the first time, you're splitting it through both the miles and the hours. So I have hour 1, hour 2, and hour 3. Okay, so there's my 3 hours, and I can walk 12 total miles in 3 hours. So in order to figure out how many miles I can walk in 1 hour, my unit rate, I need to set up a proportion. So remember, hours are on the bottom. 3 hours, 12 miles. And I'm trying to figure out how many miles I can walk in 1 hour. So I'm going to divide by my denominator. So divide by 3, divide by 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So my unit rate is I can walk 4 miles per hour. That tells us that in our miles row, we need to split each into fourths. So for this first one, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes. In my second hour, I walk 4 more miles. In my third hour, I walk another 4. So when I number these, it should total 12 miles in the end. So in first hour, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 miles. In the second, there's 5, 6, 7, 8 miles. And in my third hour, I walk 9, 10, 11, and 12 miles. So now I created my tape diagram. So now that we have our tape diagram created, we can look at the questions and try and answer them. So we already found our unit rate. He can walk 4 miles per hour. That's what we used our proportion for. Now letter B says, Ryan can walk 1 mile in what part of an hour? So we need to go and look at our tape diagram in the miles row and look where our 1 is. And if you notice, the 1 matches up with 1/4 of my whole hour, right? That's one little box out of 4 boxes in my whole hour. So 1/4 of an hour, he can walk 1 mile. Letter C says, how long would it take him to walk 6 miles? So again, we're looking at our miles row. We go over to 6, and that matches up with halfway through my second hour. So it takes him 1.5 hours to walk 6 miles. And then D asks, how far can Ryan walk in 2 1/4 of an hour? So this time we're looking at the hours row. So we go all the way to 2, and then we have another 1/4. So we're into the third hour, 1/4 of the way, and we see he can walk 9 miles in 2 1/4 of an hour. All right, so number 3 says Heather can make 16 bracelets in 4 minutes. So we have to create a tape diagram to display the situation again. So at this time, they did not give us our labels. So remember I said time should be on the bottom. So when we create this, we should have minutes on the bottom row and bracelets on the top. So go ahead and fill that in. Mine's a little sloppy. All right, so 16 bracelets in 4 minutes. We want to start by filling out our time. So 4 minutes. Remember, if we're splitting it into 4, you want to go through both the bracelets and the minutes boxes. So 1, 2, 3 lines to give me my 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. And now in order to figure out how many I need to split my bracelets into, I have to find my unit rate. So this is where proportion comes in. We have 16 bracelets in 4 minutes, and we need to figure out how many bracelets she can make in 1 minute. So we'll divide by our denominator, divide by 4, divide by 4. 16 divided by 4 should give us 4. So our unit rate is she can make 4 bracelets per minute. Now we can go back up to our tape diagram and split each minute into fourths because she can make 4 bracelets per minute. So 1, 2, 3, 4 bracelets. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's my other 4. There's my other 4. So now we need to number them to make sure we have enough. So in my first minute, I make 1, 2, 3, 4 bracelets. 5, 6, 7, 8 bracelets in my second minute. 9, 10, 11, 12 bracelets in my third. 13, 14, 15, 16 bracelets in 4 minutes, which is what we needed. So now we can go ahead and start answering our questions now that our tape diagram's done. So B says, how many bracelets can she make in 2.5 minutes? So we're looking at our minutes row, and we're going to 2 1/2. So there's our 2, but we got to go over all the way to 2 1/2. She can make 10 bracelets in 2.5 minutes. Letter C asks, how many bracelets can she make in 1.5 minutes? So we're in our minutes row, and we need to look through the first minute and halfway through another, and she can create 6 bracelets in 1.5 minutes. D asks, how long would it take her to make 10 bracelets? So we're in our bracelets row this time. We go all the way over to 10 bracelets, and then we count our minutes. So it goes 1, 2 minutes, and a half of another. So it takes her 2.5 minutes to create 10 bracelets. And E asks, how long would it take her to make 5 bracelets? So we're still in our bracelets row, go over to 5, and then count our minutes. So it takes 1 whole minute and 1/4 of another minute. See how this is only 1/4 of our second minute. So it takes 1 1/4 minutes to create 5 bracelets. So this video is over, this tape diagram. So you are flipping the page over, and you'll see that we're talking about double number lines next. This is a different video, so you need to exit this video, go back to the unit plan, and you'll click where it says video number 2, double number lines, and we will start there.